Howdy folks, and welcome back to Udon Thani. For a second, we are checking out of our hotel and leaving as they bid us a fond farewell here. If you missed the last episode, I'll put a link up in the upper right hand corner. We had a little bit of a celebration in Udon Thani. But anyway, it's time to leave and head south down into the countryside a little bit more, towards Khon Kaen. We will make it to Khon Kaen and far beyond in this episode. We've got a lot to get to. If we make it there through these treacherous roads, you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. It is sugarcane burning season. At least it was. They might be done with it by now. But there it is. There it is, fields ablaze. And that's how they kind of prepare for the next crop, I guess. But I guess we kind of hit them on a bad day. But anyway, let's jump into this and get down to rural Khon Kaen, and then we'll see where we're going to go next.
So we've come now today. We're about 60 kilometers outside of Khon Kaen, about 90, 95, something like that, south of Udon. We've come to the Cobra Village, Khon Kaen Cobra Village. Of course, to see a cobra, specifically the King Cobra. The King Cobra is a very interesting reptile. It's ensconced deep into Thai tradition, Indian tradition, Sri Lanka, all of South and Southeast Asia really. And that's where it's found generally, in the jungles. But I guess more interesting than that, to me anyway, is what it eats and what it doesn't eat. It's not a big fan of the small mammals like rats and mice and things like that. It eats other snakes, which I guess could be good and bad. Snakes help keep the mice and rat population down and things like that, but they're also maybe a little bit of a danger to humans. So I don't know. It's a balance of nature, I guess, but that's what they eat. The things can get just shy of 6 meters long, just shy of 20 feet. And we just saw a show here. I'm showing you as I talk, but I think they have one that's pretty close to that size. They had two of them, two different little shows. Now, don't think this is just animal captivity to appease tourists, give tourists something to look at. It's much more than that. They need to have some of these animals in captivity to milk the venom from them. Their venom has about three or four different toxins in it, the cocktail that it injects with its big fangs. And this venom, put it this way, one Thai study here locally says 10 out of 35 bite victims will die. If you're bitten, you need the anti-venom, and that's what they make, a serum, whatever it's called. That's what they make, and to make that, they need the real venom from the snake. So it takes a lot of venom to make a dose of anti-venom. If you get bit, you may need multiple doses of the anti-venom. Every bite doesn't result in a total toxification of the venom in humans, but the ones that do and end up at the hospitals, those I think were what the numbers predicated on. But I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. If you see one, I would freeze, I would stop, I would slowly back away, and then just head the other direction. I would not try to engage the snake. Generally, they'll see you before you see them, and they'll go the other way. They know that you're not a meal. And they generally don't want anything to do with you. But like all snakes, if they are cornered, they can't get away, there's no escape route, and they feel danger, their instinct kicks in and they will attack, they will strike. These snakes can strike a tremendous distance because of their length, and then because they kind of rise up. They're very intimidating looking with the big hood. It's different than any other snake you'll see. So I've always been interested in the King Cobra. I've never seen one in all my travels of Thailand. I've seen pythons, I've seen tree snakes, I've seen all sorts. I've never seen a cobra of any kind, especially a King Cobra. Most of the ones that I do see here, pictures on Facebook and things, are a very dark gray or black in color with different bands around the neck. But apparently there are other color variations. And that may vary from place to place. Very popular in India. So there are a couple color variations, but the size is the big deal. And there it is, King Cobra Village, Khon Kaen. If you're out this way, maybe worth a stop. They put on a show I don't know, every hour on the half hour or something. The show's not long, it's 5 or 10 minutes. And you pay, they come around for donations. I gave them 100 baht for each of us. I think they want at least 20 or something like that. But they've got pythons, some small pythons, other stuff. But, well, I don't know what kind of snake that is. Whoa. They had a python with the mouth taped shut where you could hold it, which probably isn't the best thing to do. But some of these, the mouth's wide open and they're biting. So anyway, that's that.
So yeah, my friend Terry over in Somerset, UK said, hey, I want to see some snakes. Well, there you go, buddy. Plenty of snakes here in rural Khon Kaen. But anyway, worth a stop, worth the little out of the way. Now, there's other things to see here. You can walk around. We probably spent an hour or two, maybe about an hour and a half here. So we'll briefly take a look at some of the other sights and sounds. So yeah, don't worry. If you get hungry, there are a couple food options out here, including a coffee shop, kind of a neat coffee shop here in the back of the place. There was some noodle vendors and stuff over by where they were selling the snake oil and all that stuff. But anyway, we took a look around here, but it was getting to be a long day. Remember, V was up 4 in the morning for the celebration dance, and it was time to get down to downtown Khon Kaen. So since we got into town a little bit late, we didn't muck around with the hotels. We went right to something familiar. We stayed here last time, the Hotel Shada Veranda, about 600 baht, right in the middle of town. Nice room, clean. So by the time we got there, though, V was just ready to collapse. So, and I wasn't too far behind, but I was more hungry than tired, so I went out and had a spaghetti meal. There it is. That was welcome. But anyway, we would have a long day the next day, so I did have some time to briefly look around at night, but actually it seemed like there was less going on this time in Khon Kaen than the last time I was here about a year and a half ago, but it is what it is. Everybody goes through different phases. These towns go through different phases here of kind of restrictions and shutdowns. Khon Kaen looked like they were going through one. But I got some stopped and got some street food for V along the way home because she was in no shape to go out. She just wanted to kind of relax and get ready for the next day, where we would head, not that far, but south of Callison, right on the Callison and Royette border. We're going deep into the bowels of rice country. So let's get this home to V so she can have a late night snack and save her energy for tomorrow morning.
So we left Khon Kaen this morning, got off pretty early. It's about 100 kilometers south and east to Roi Et. We're in very rural Roi Et, just a little north and west of the main city of Roi Et. And we're at a homestead here. This is one of V's longtime friends, and they invited us out here. They got a nice spread of land, all kind of stuff going out here. They're growing, they're farming, they got fish. We weren't here but 5 minutes and they showed up with a bag of frogs. So it's a little village out here, very rural. And lots of rice fields, buffalo, you'll see. I'm getting ready to go for a ride. There's all kind of trails all along the rice fields. I unloaded the bike, and that's the homestead over there. There's Mama. She's the one that showed up with the bag of toads or frogs, or I guess they're frogs. I don't know, I'll show them to you. But they're huge. They're huge. I guess they're eating them, I don't know. But we're gonna be out here for a couple days, just looking around, seeing what there is to see and do. But we just had a little breakfast here, and then I couldn't wait to head out and explore all the trails and stuff. They're all kind of just dirt road little trails, but that's all right. It's all right with me. And it's beautiful, you'll see. So I'll show you a little bit around the little homestead here while we get ready and get suited up for the ride, and then we'll go for a ride. How about that? I have no idea where we're sleeping. Oh well. So we didn't get very far. I just stopped. I rode by here by myself, and this guy looked at me like I had two heads. But I looked at him the same way, because he's got these big mud domes out here he's making. We looked at this briefly before. It was a much more primitive form. This guy's doing it, I guess, a little bit more professionally. He's making charcoal. So the wood is smoldering in these big mud, almost like ovens. I guess that's the wood he starts with. And here. And he's got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a little 5, and then a little small one. So 5.5 of these things. And that's what he does. He's the charcoal man. But this is really cool, these big mud ovens. I don't know if he has to keep putting the mud on. It looks like a constant maintenance kind of thing. But like this one, I think, is probably burnt out and probably needs to be all redone, you know. So he probably used this for a long time, made a big batch of charcoal, then he'll have to redo this to make the next batch. But anyway, that's why charcoal is so plentiful and cheap here. So see if we can get a little bit farther this time before I feel compelled to stop. Got me with mud. So we found like a small garden plot. It's small, but she's growing a lot of stuff. She's growing garlic. All that over there is garlic. And she's got some onions, but she told me it's mostly garlic. So just one little place carved out here by a shack for that, and the rest is pretty much all rice. And there's some buffalo over here. I was taking a picture of the buffalo, and the little puppy tried to scare me away. For whatever reason, it's funny. I've been fighting kind of a deep, what looks like pretty solid road, but it's actually deep dust, almost like sand, but even finer than sand, and it's very dry and deep. And you got to watch your front tire through there. You can go down. And then all of a sudden I come back here and it's mud. So they must have got some water. This area must have been irrigated or something. All the other roads that I've been on, so dry and dusty to the point it's almost like going through 4 inches of sand in some places, but never know what it's gonna be. I'll take it all, I don't care, mud, sand, dust. Now, they've got a big pond over here, which is where they get the water for the irrigation. And apparently it's full of fish, and tomorrow we're supposed to get some fish out of there. So we'll see how that goes. Not holding my breath, I don't know. Sometimes these things don't materialize, but that's supposed to be what it's gonna be. And V thought we would sleep there, but there really is no room for us to sleep at the little homestead. So she said there's some bungalows around here, so we gotta go scout that out as soon as I'm done my little ride around here. And we'll scout that out and see where it is we're gonna sleep tonight, because I have no idea. I guess there's always the back of the truck, but we don't have a tent or a sleeping bag or anything like that. So the bungalow's sounding pretty good.
So we're just getting started here in rural Royette, just south of the Callison border, actually. V tried to make friends with the buffalo, I guess, because he didn't want to make friends. But our other friend, the charcoal man, showed up and gave V a lift. I took off on the bike, and she had a little lift back up to where I was. But anyway, tune in next time. This is actually one of the highlights of our trip here. We spent 2.5 days out here, 2 nights, almost 3 days out here, and we had a great time. We did lots of stuff, learned a lot, met a lot of new friends. But anyway, that'll all have to wait till the next episode, because for this episode, I've got to leave it off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.